You all hang in there, here? Just a good old boy.
Season 1, Episode 7, titled Luke's Love Story. Interesting here. Teleplay by Chris Kincaid and Nance McCormick. Story by Chris Kincaid and Nance McCormick and Bruce Taylor. Directed by Hy Averback. Hollywood veteran there, huh, Bern? Original air date March 16, 1979. And here's the preview right here.
To the obstacle derby.
You're the first woman to enter the Hazzard Derby, and it's about time.
Surprise. Lucifer against General Lee. Winner take all.
You're on. You all hang in there, here?
Okay, there we are. So we're now over halfway through season 1. And for those of you who are new listeners, you have found us on YouTube. We have reviewed all 7 seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard on our audio podcast over the years. We're now going back through them all again, starting in season 1 to put them on YouTube just for you. But below, you'll find the links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all the stuff, so you can go back and listen to all those. But again, we know you want the video. I'm Rob Kibbe, longtime automotive podcasting know-it-all. He's Bernie McPartland, longtime automotive podcasting know-it-all producer, and he is Justin Corndog Cornett. He actually knows things. For real.
Not really, but yeah, we'll go with that.
IMDb summary. Luke enters the General Lee in the Hazzard County obstacle race, competing against his gorgeous girlfriend, Amy Creevy. But Amy's life is in danger, thanks to her jealous ex-boyfriend.
Not bad.
Yeah,
that's true. DVD summary. Luke's rival in Hazzard Stock Car Derby has $1 million legs and a lead foot, and she's got his heart revved up. Boss Hog worries about reclaiming the Derby trophy because his mama's ashes are in it.
That was an interesting twist.
It's kind of a fun B plot. I like the stunt where they throw the trophy behind the bar and then the smoke bomb goes off. That's kind of fun. Burn a little summary music here. My summary. Luke's Love Story is an episode that was written by throwing lots of disconnected ideas on the wall, thinking through all of them clearly, removing none of them, and then writing a story anyway about women's lib and a douchebag man. In this case, the biggest D-bag of all is a one-off episode where Luke Duke is the heartthrob, not Bo, and seems to be going down a vibe that says his body is too great to deprive the women of the world of. It is just awful. Anyway.
Early writings.
It's just awful. Hazzard hosts a race for the top 4 contenders of the state dirt circuit. It's Cooter, Enos, somehow both Duke boys as a single entrant, and a redhead woman named Creevy. She has a jealous ex-boyfriend and a lady mechanic. The mechanic sounds like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to me. Anyway, Bo bets the General against the women's car. She and Luke fall madly in love. He blows it. They race. He takes out the boyfriend. She gives him the trophy. She gets to keep the General that she didn't know that Bo had bet, or Bo didn't know that he had bet, or Luke didn't know that he had bet. It's a zigzag of a story. But at the end, the General Lee is racing and sure looks like Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry to me.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
Smashed
shot.
fender.
Just like last week, but for different reasons. I'll go higher than my rating should be. 9 corn dogs on this.
Wow.
I like the early California episodes because everything is new. All of the B-roll footage is new. It has to be because they have just relocated there. And this particular episode has a lot of camera footage of cars in motion in a race, out on the roads, out on the streets in another town. I think at one point you see a Bank of America, like a real Bank of America that they're driving by. I thoroughly enjoyed it from that perspective. I don't like the episodes where Luke is not a good guy, but he's a good guy for half the episode. Like the first half of the episode, he is a good guy. And then he becomes a total waste of space. Just, I don't get it. Maybe that's why there's 3 writers on here. They all took a turn. So before we get to that, before we start recording, you showed us, you might know a little something about the writing. you have some of the scripts or all of the scripts for this one. So how many versions of this script existed?
Well, I've got first draft, second draft, third draft, and final draft. So I don't know if there's a fourth one, but there's also, I've seen before there's revised copies as well. So I don't know if these are like, hey, let's try that. And then I don't know what you would really call a revised versus a, like a third revised versus a third draft. Don't know what one means versus the other, but yeah, I've got 4 different copies. Starting as early as November 1978, going all the way through the end of January, where they, do a different draft.
Do they have locations written in there?
No.
Do they know? So
it's just basically storyline.
Okay. I don't recognize the names of these writers at all. Like in later seasons, it's the same writers over and over and over again, it seems like. But
yeah.
I don't know who these are.
I'm going to see if they actually start off the same and end the same. See if anybody added some to it. I see written by, this is the final draft, Chris Kincaid and Nancy McCormick on the final. Yes, still the same 2. But yeah, I don't recognize their names either.
It starts out with Waylon giving a preview of what's to come here, and that's worth us playing. You also see the director, Hy Averback, and Bern. My dad loved the show MASH, TV show MASH, and I don't know if that was a show that you loved, but Hy Averback sure directed a lot of episodes at MASH. So when I saw his name here, I thought, wow, they stepped up.
Yeah, that was a common show in the house. We watched that every week. It was pretty much good. Every week. You could count on that. You could count on Johnny Carson at night and MASH.
Well, here's the Waylon intro to explain the whole thing.
Christmas is the biggest event of the year in most parts of the country, but in Hazzard County, it's the annual Hazzard Obstacle Derby. It's an illegal stock car race over an obstacle course. It's the dirtiest race in America. There ain't but one rule. Finish first any way you can.
This still feels like a Georgia episode to me.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I would agree.
Because it's supposed to be a rougher part of town. More beer drinking, more butt grabbing, more more of that. Less wholesome.
I can't have just one woman.
Yeah, you don't see that theme much later in the series. It has a couple of guest stars, and the first guest star is played by actress Roz Kelly. She plays the character Amy Creevy, and she's the driver, and she's competing in a Mustang, a black Mustang, with the number 13 on the side, and the Mustang's name is Lucifer. So 13 is a evil number,
yeah,
and Lucifer is evil, the clearest of evils. She had been an actress for about 15 years at this time, mostly in guest starring roles. She was on Starsky and Hutch a few times. She may have been best known as Arthur Fonzarelli's girlfriend, Pinky Tuscadero, on the TV series Happy Days. Her mechanic is played by actress Muse Small, and she got her start on theater in 1966. She originated the role of Frenchie in the Broadway production of the musical Grease, with a cast that included Barry Bostwick and later included John Travolta, Patrick Swayze, and Treat Williams. She's best known as her role of Candy in the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now, I'm going to play for you 2 clips. You tell me which one is her and which one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm cute! I'm cute! Shit!
And this one.
You want to talk about crankshafts?
If you can tell the difference, you're better men than me. I can't.
I about lost it when you said that a while ago, because I had heard that voice before and I couldn't place it. It's just, that sounds familiar. And then you said Rudolph, and I about
That's
funny.
it.
Oh, by the way, we reviewed that. Mike Finnegan and I reviewed this in episode 3. of the Dukes of the Kibbe and Finnegan show at that time. It was the first episode that had Corndog's super secret insider notes, which I have.
Good.
Did you know that the three of us have reviewed this episode together?
Mm-mm.
We did. I
Yeah.
100% forgot, but what I was thinking, man, that sounds like Rudolph. I still had the Rudolph clip from episode 248 where we reviewed this once before. I totally forgot about it.
Well, there you go, Corn Dog. We were sleeping through that one, and he's sleeping through all these.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy Creevy is introduced there. Kirk, go ahead and roll the video here, but this is what it sounds like.
And Creevy.
Creevy? Well, who's Creevy? I ain't never heard of him.
There wasn't no Creevy on the state circuit this year.
I'm Creevy. Amy Creevy. Placer County Powder Puff Division.
Hey, he's a she. Powder puffs? Well, powder puffs don't count. This here's a race for men.
That's why I'm here, sugar. I just haven't quite figured out which one I aim to catch yet.
Welcome to Hazzard County.
It's well named.
My name's Luke Duke.
Either your kid or your mother had a pretty cute sense of humor.
And it's just more of that. It's just,
Wow.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm only human, and all this. Just, you know what? Everybody's got their thing. she is not my cup of tea. But Luke falls in love with Amy Creevy very quickly. The mechanic is there for comic relief, clearly. And eventually, it becomes clear that Amy Creevy is a good driver, and she does have a shot at winning. And I do not understand the state dirt circuit. I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. But they're all driving, effectively passenger cars, except
Right.
Lucifer. Lucifer, I think, is maybe the only untagged race car. I think
No,
everything
it had a
else-
tag on it.
It did.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I do remember seeing a scene, and you saw the tag on the back. I think it may have been while it was, going down the hill and lost its brakes. I remember seeing it at some point, though.
You had details in the last episode about who built a few special cars. Do you know who built this car?
The Lucifer?
Yeah, the Lucifer.
Yeah, the
Mustang.
Lucifer and the Camaro, the green Camaro, were built by, drew a blank on his name now. Crap.
Something Paul.
Eddie Paul, that's it. Yeah. And so there's some photos that I've had where it shows the Lucifer being painted, and you can see two of those cars. And then another photo outside the shop where it shows two of the number 99 Camaro parked outside. So there again, there's always at least two. So, yeah. Don't ever know what happened to those cars. You never see or hear of Lucifer or the Camaro ever again. But I would imagine they probably got recycled into some other production at some point.
Sure.
Except for the rolled over Camaro.
So the episode goes on. Amy Creevy, yes, she has a lady mechanic. She also has a former mechanic who is a jealous ex-boyfriend, Turk. And he doesn't have a lot to do here other than he's a bad guy and he's psychopath in love with her and nitrous oxide. That's his claim to fame, is he puts nitrous oxide on every car, which is illegal on the state circuit. I assume illegal in any series that doesn't sanction it, but
Yeah, probably.
Can't do that.
Even uses it to knock people out.
He tries to kill her at one point, which is a little puzzling. Not sure why, because he really loves her, but he's also a wacko. The race ensues, and eventually we learn that Cooter is a qualified driver, but he is blackmailed by Boss Hogg into becoming a crasher. And the reason Boss Hogg wants Cooter to become a crasher is because somehow Boss Hogg has won this race the last 3 years in a row. And as the winner of that, you receive a trophy. And in the trophy cup, he has placed his mother's ashes. And he hid them in the cup to put on his mantle because his wife Lulu hated his mother. So it's a complicated B plot.
It's a lot of story, yeah.
he put his mother's ashes from the urn into the trophy cup and put that on the mantle. Long story short, he has to win the race 4 years in a row, not 3, to keep the cup. So he is basically out of his gourd worried about this cup, and he has Cooter become a crasher. Cooter gets knocked out by Turk, the bad guy, and Turk, the bad guy, tries to take out Amy in the race. And the race is long, and it's worth showing a lot of footage of the race because it goes through the streets of small town California, right? Do you know where they are?
I did know. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it was in my old notes that I shared. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the little town that they used.
Los Angeles?
No, it was a little town outside
Riverside?
of LA.
San Francisco.
I don't know. I'm hoping
Prison.
they're looking at my notes and can tell.
Prison?
Toronto.
Atlanta.
Jackson.
There's 4 cars racing. Generally, Lucifer, a patrol car with red and blue stripes, and the green Cooter Camaro. There's a replica of that car, or there was, as I recall, at the Dukes Museum in Virginia, right?
Yeah, Luray.
Luray, Virginia.
There is now. I'm not sure that there was while we were there. Was it?
I think it was. But
Okay, maybe so.
how many General Lees were used in this episode? Do you know?
It looks like only 2. I mean, it's possible there's a third one in there. There's the 69, which is the Lee 3 car that we've followed along through all of Georgia and through so far through California.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a 68, and the 68 has a kind of a full cage, not really full cage, but it has the down bars with that you can't really run with a rear seat in it.
That's why there's no rear seat in that one. There's
Yeah.
is that the one you have a lot of in-camera footage of out the back window?
Yeah, and also from the back seat shooting through the windshield, you can see it's a 68 dash and gauge cluster. So, and that's the car that really gets beat to death as the fender's smashed in and the front edge of the driver's fender, like it hit straight onto something and it's buckled up pretty good.
And
So
when
I
you see that
imagine,
from the front, that's the Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry looking like damage.
yeah, and that I think that's the same car that they ended up jumping with the passenger fender smashed in. So throughout the race, I think they filmed this out of order because you'll see the damage, you'll see it there and then it's not there and back and forth. And so as the car got more and more damaged, then, at the very end, there's like, all right, let's jump it. And, at that point it had already received a ton of damage, just beating and banging racing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see the passenger fender smashed.
Earlier in the episode, Turk sabotages the Mustang, and they're out taking a joyride around the hills of Georgia, which are just Southern California. And there's some pretty fun, kind of scary moments as they hang a camera off the right side of the car. So a couple things that they do in this episode on numerous cars is just something I really enjoy. I like when the camera hangs on the side of the car and is looking backwards.
Yeah.
I like looking backwards. I like seeing the rear wheel spinning. And you actually get a sense of how much motion and, commotion and everything there's going on. I dig that. They do that on the Mustang. You see the camera
I'm the
hanging
opposite.
on the side there.
I like it shooting forward, and especially while they're like it's hanging right behind the door maybe, and it's shooting forward, and you can watch the wheel kick to the left and right, and you're seeing it bounce and just steer, and I like that view a little bit better than the rear, but I do like the rear shot as well.
I like them all. I really like it when it's mounted, especially on the generally looking forward, but up higher on the quarter. So like you're looking down like the body line,
right?
And you can see the driver wheeling and stuff like that. There's no bad shot.
No,
there's no
there
bad
really
shot.
isn't.
The big problem with this episode though is Luke is just a total douchebag.
And also there's, other than the opening fairly early in the episode where they back the general into the barn.
Yeah.
And then the race, that's all we get to see of the General Lee. That and Luke's a douchebag. Those are the two bad things.
Let's
about
spend
this.
a little time on Luke here. 3 clips.
Like more serious.
Exclusive.
Sort of. Of course, there'd be a certain adjustment problem.
What adjustment?
Oh, nothing much. It's just I need a certain amount of freedom. Well, you know how men are.
Oh. You think women aren't like that?
Well, I don't think they should be.
I'll bet in Hazard you put chastity belts on your women behind the feet and make them shuffle 10 paces behind, huh?
I don't know. We don't bind their feet no more. I'd slow them down picking cotton.
That's cute.
I know it's getting uncomfortable to me, even though that's a joke that doesn't land well. And it gets worse when he goes to Uncle Jesse for advice.
You know, tonight she didn't wait for nothing. After she left with that turnip brain, I went out looking for her. Jesse, I ain't never went looking for a woman before. They always come looking for me.
Gotta
And
love
it's
'em.
really not true.
It isn't. Years from now, you will realize your cousin was the. Never mind. Uncle Jesse talks him into doing the right thing, and then he chooses to fail anyway.
I'll fail.
What?
I'll fail. And I hate failing.
What?
Look, I want you. I don't want anybody else to have you, but I'm afraid I ain't gonna be able to keep up my end of the deal.
You thick-skinned cloud, hopping old boll weevil. I think I almost fell for that. Oh! No! No!
Amy, wait.
That part right there, with the storyline and the music, I could have swore that was like a soap opera.
Once you say the word boll weevil, you're in deep water.
It's not good. The episode does end. Luke does, I guess, help her. He ends up taking out Turk, who is trying to take out her, and as a result of that, he does not win the race. And earlier in the race, Bo has had it, and he's bet the General Lee against Lucifer against the lady mechanic, and the lady mechanic comes to collect.
Yeah.
And she wants the car, and that's worth sharing.
Okay, hotshot. Let's have the keys.
Give her the keys of General Lee.
What for?
Well, I put him up in the race against Lucifer. He belongs to them.
You did what?
Well, I didn't know you were going to let her win.
Oh, let me win. What are you talking about?
And then it ends with, I guess, her realizing Luke let her win. I didn't know he let her win. I thought he chose to take out the bad guy, not let her win, but
Yeah.
she won. So it ends, she says, you can keep the car, and here's the trophy too, and I'm going to Hickory to have the next race. See ya. That's the episode. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I give it a 9 for the car stuff, but that's it.
And the other thing too was, I don't know, this just came to me. When they were in the barn and they were talking about what's your biggest, goal or whatever. And of all things, it was to win the Charlotte 500. Why not the Daytona 500? Or why not, Talladega 500 or something? It was the Charlotte 500. Or even, hey, they're supposedly in Georgia. Why not the Atlanta 500 or something?
Yeah, you shoot low, you'll hit it every time.
Maybe so. It's like saying, "Oh, I've always wanted to win Pocono." It's like it's random.
Dover, Delaware would be just super. I would like that one. Okay, I gave this one 9, and I gave it because of it's. I love the first episodes of California. I just do.
Yeah.
I love all the in-car camera scenes with actors.
Yeah.
There's not a clip of green screen in here. And I don't remember if we're going to start to see green screen before this season is out, but I do cherish this little brief window when you get the good stuff like this.
Yeah.
it's a fun I like it when the show gets a little cleaner, in nature, and probably a little more cartoonish in plot, but that's just me. All right, I gave it 9. What do you give it?
For me, it's always been the cars. And so just like you, I mean, I like the early California stuff because it's almost like, I don't know if it's because the weather is less like overcast and you can actually see it's nice weather and you can actually see the interior of the car, and they actually use more camera shots showing the interior of the car, of which are usually these Georgia cars. And so I've always liked the Georgia era just because of the cars. And so, yeah, so I mean, I like this episode, but there's still not much General Lee. And if it wasn't for the race where, it kind of features the General Lee more than anything, then this really wouldn't be one of my favorite episodes. But because of the race and that it's Georgia cars still, I give it a solid 8.5.
So more generally, less plot.
I could have done without the storyline. It was a lot cheesy. Like I said, that sounded like a soap opera, and I don't care much at all for soap operas.
Brian, you were a womanizer back in the day. How did you like this one?
Yeah, what happened?
Did you relate?
Woman repeller was more the word. So
I remember saying those exact words. Is that what
I'm kind of the corn dog here. I didn't think of the word soap opera, but the plot was a little thick and the topics were a little heavy, and we do get to know Uncle Jesse a little better, and we get to know his mindset more, which is good. We get that. The race was not as terrorizing as Waylon made it out to be in all the VO. It was just more like follow the leader most of the time, so that was a little disappointing. I'm not going to be as generous. I think I'm going a flat 7. Ooh. And I think I have a little bit of a review that is a little less complicated, but I think it really hits to the point. Want to hear it?
Sure. Yeah.
It goes like this. Now, the girl's a redhead, so you have to remember that. Here it goes. A really fast ginger bends a fender and doesn't let her gender worry about who can defend her. Then she learns to puke the name of Luke, who will never make her a Mrs. Duke.
It's pretty good.
That is good.
Thank you.
I like that. During the race scene, when they're in all the cars and you hear these awesome stock car sounds, and then they peer out the front of the window and you can tell that they're all doing about 6 to 7 miles per hour.
They're all stuck in granny low.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, you see them downshift all the way down to low. I don't know if it goes down to 1 or 2 or whatever it was, but yeah.
It looked like you threw it into first gear.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Doing 50 miles an hour. You shouldn't do that. All right, everybody, that concludes this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can find all the links below to listen to the entire series on audio, and you can find all of our other videos here as well. Thank you again. Share this on social media. That's the best way that shows like ours grow. Fellas, anything else before we go?
Yeah. Were you going to like re-review my notes from way back when?
Oh, I read them. You said them all.
Okay.
Your notes were.
Did I not mention the city, the little town or whatever it was?
It's not in here.
Maybe I found out about it later. Maybe that was in the later review of this episode. I don't know.
You said here, from your notes, burn a little corn dog note music here. For the first 3/4 of the episode, you really do not see much of the General Lee, but once the race starts, you get a full dose of General Lees in action. They use a total of 3 Chargers, 169 and 268s. These are the 3 cars that were left over from filming in Georgia. The leftover Georgia cars were beat on pretty hard for the first few California episodes, then repaired and beat on some more. I believe the first scene of the General is when Bo is back in the car into the barn. Something about that exhaust sounds so good. This car is the 69 and was referred to as Lee 3 during the Georgia episodes. You will notice the gas cap trim ring is still missing. Another thing is the lack of the cross flags behind the back glass. The cross flags are actually a Klingon decal, and in some of the Georgia close-up scenes you can see the edges lifting. This is the same car that did all the early promotional photos without the 01 on the doors. So those were your notes. A little bonus for you.
Maybe at some point I disclosed the city. But yeah, that little support bridge that they go over with the iron trusses.
Yeah,
that is still there. That bridge is still there. It's no longer in use. They've built one, just off to one side of the bridge, and now that one is used, but the old bridge is still there. And for the life of me, I can't think of the name of the city.
Well, we have 5 minutes before the next episode. Think of it then. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll catch you on the next time. Bye-bye.
Later.
So that's the legend of how a little old girl won the Hazzard Derby. And how Mama Hog went to stay with the Dukes for a spell. Unbeknownst to them,